Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Tadowski Shelter. Now, I get a lot of requests to talk about the national quests and the class hall in order to clarify a lot of what goes on, how to use the buffs that are in there, how to get experience points, the best way to do it. However, I have also not done a video that discusses the classes that are available in Last Shelter. So we cannot have a good discussion about the national quests without explaining the classes that are available and what each of them offers you as an individual player. So today, let's take a look at the 4 classes that are currently available to everyone in the game. We'll talk about the pros, the cons, the benefits, and at the end, we'll talk briefly about the class hall building. Remember, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to see more. Come join a live if you have a question. If you have a topic you wish to discuss, leave those in the comments below, and let's get right into it. As I stated, currently, there are 4 classes in Last Shelter that you can choose from. These classes will give you initial perks just by choosing them. Later on, you will gain extra buffs by gaining experience through doing the national quests, which can not only help your own base progress, but will also help out your alliance. But let's start with the basic classes and let's go from there. The first thing you should know about classes is that you are not locked into any class. You can change your class for free at specific times of leveling up, or you can pay to change them. Either way, the point here is that you are not permanently locked into one class or another. Throughout the leveling up of your base, you will periodically get asked if you wish to change your class. You will get a free class change at specific levels. These levels are going to be 6, 10, 13, 16, and 20. Whether you choose to use it or save it for later is going to totally be up to you. Now, the 4 classes currently available are going to be Farmer, Architect, Trader, and Raider. Now, each class has its own perks and disadvantages, and each class also gives you access to a specific building and gives buffs to your class APC, which would be geared more towards the specific class that you choose. Choosing the right class at the right time can change how you advance in the game or better fit your playstyle. So let's talk about each class in the general sense, what they do, and give you a better understanding of which you would like to be. The first one we'll talk about is Farmers. Now, Farmers appear to be the most likely candidate for all starting bases. Their simple involvement of increasing resource income seems like a very good option for anyone starting out and allowing you to get as many resources so that you can always upgrade buildings. It also protects more resources than any other class from those pesky pirates as well. The Farmer class gives you access to a building called the Production Center, which is a farmer exclusive building which gives you a once a day free rapid production of all resources at once. You will also be allowed to get your free rapid production from your tech tree, giving you 2 free rapid productions of all your resources in one day. Your APC can also harvest more resources and faster than any other class. However, the drawbacks here is that your troops don't like battle. You will see a 30% reduction in marching speed, troop resistance, and troop damage when you attack other bases. Now, that is a huge pitfall when you are doing the Clash of Zones event and you need to attack other bases. The second class you can choose is going to be Traders. Now, Traders are the merchants of the game. They like to wheel and deal. The class provides a lot of buffs to your events, especially the Clash of Zones event. Your exclusive building is the Market, which will allow you to give a resource support to your alliance members, meaning you can trade with them, as well as purchasing items using cash or diamonds. It's similar to the commercial hub, but grants more opportunities to get the resources you need. Some other buffs of the trader class include a 5% discount in the trading hub, and your troops consume consume 30% less food. Your cash production is also increased by 50%, which is drastically a game changer when it comes to making things like chips and energy cores. However, the drawbacks here are that the healing of your troops will take more time, and if you're attacked, you will lose more resources than normal. The third class we'll talk about here is going to be architects. Now, just as the name implies, architects are builders. They focus on being able to build and upgrade structures cheaper and faster. Another huge bonus to the architect class is that all honor structure materials you have left over at the end of a Doomsday season will stay and not be removed from your inventory. This will give you a slight edge in your competition when you go to start the next season. Now, there are no special buildings applied to this class, and there are technically no debuffs at this time. The only benefits come from any class cards you achieve. And the last class that you can choose from is going to be Raiders. Now, this is going to be the most commonly chose class in the game. The main thing I think every player immediately thinks about when they think about Last Shelter is Raiders. Now, Raiders are warmongers, the pirates, the ones not afraid to burn the entire state down. Raiders' main traits give you an edge in sieges and launch center battles. The Raider class grants a building called a Battle Hall, which will provide an extra class APC with extra might and resistance bonuses. Their healing speed is going to be increased. The dead troops turn into wounded more often, which means less needing to clone your troops, and the resources you plunder from bases you attack is greatly increased. Your class APC for Raiders is going to be the only APC that will be able to plunder cash resources after a siege. However, the drawbacks here can be savage. They harvest less resources, and your resource production, including cash, is greatly reduced in comparison to every other class available. Now, every class has a place and a time. There is no one class that is worse or better than another. A lot of it does come down to what type of player you are and where you are in your base development. Now, I'll discuss my personal thoughts on how you can utilize the classes and your class change opportunities so that it can benefit you the most at the end of the video. But let's now talk about the class hall. The class hall is a building where all your class information can be found. Classes can be looked at and changed in this building. If you click on the class hall, you will be presented with a few different options. You'll see class manual, class, and national quest. Now, for the newest states, you will not have access to a national quest initially. However, they will be some of the first things introduced to your state, and they will be more important than people realize. Now, your class manual is a way for you to get extra benefits for your base and troops. The points you gain from doing national quests will allow you to level up your class. Basically, you can become quote-unquote more experienced. As you go down each tree, you'll notice a few different color cards, and they all relate to a specific type of benefit. Some will grant extra experience during national quests, some will grant your base or troops extra buffs, some will grant buffs to your alliance, some will grant buffs to your national quests. Each class skill tree is different and has different perks. Due to how detailed these are, I will save this for another video, as well as the actual national quest discussion. Now, to keep things short and on topic, it is important to realize that your class is an important decision. All four have pros and cons, and depending on your playstyle, one may be a better fit than another. For people who do not care about attacking and would like to grow, trader, architect, or farmer may be better suited to you. For people that like to focus on the hunt, raider is a clear choice. If you're in the middle, trader or architect may be the better option, depending on you. However, in my opinion, with the addition of Architect, Farmer has become a pretty obsolete class for anyone in an active base. Architect is a fairly new addition to the game, and it was not always an option. So initially, you could be only one of 3 classes. However, with the options available and looking at the benefits and cons of each class, choosing Farmer is not something I would suggest for anyone, even starting bases. The other 3 are all very beneficial for any point in the game. I would say that Architect may become somewhat obsolete over time. However, the addition of keeping your Doomsday resources is a major advantage to have and may push some people to stick with it. You will get some new buildings as you progress, but not enough to make you want to keep being an Architect throughout the entire game unless there was an extra benefit. The appealing part of Architect is a lower cost and faster build speed. If you add in the cards from the class manual, you can upgrade buildings extremely quickly. There are more benefits further down the tree that we can discuss in another video. Now, traders are decent with the ability to buy and swap resources. They are good all around and can be beneficial to the growth of your base. The skill tree of adding extra points during the Clash of Zones event is very appealing, as well as the other skills further down their skill tree in the class manual. The Raider class is probably the most versatile for the game and the most used. However, if you're not a person looking to constantly battle, and keep in mind there will always be someone stronger, you're sort of locked into a position with no real benefit to base growth. Your resources are cut short, you get no buffs for upgrading or events for the most part. However, you are very versatile. The cons of being a raider can be overcome with, well, raiding. The lack of resources can be overcome by having farms or attacking other bases to fill up your resource bar. You will not receive any cons in the building or upgrading, so you won't be hindered in that aspect of being a raider. You can grow at a normal pace, but you can also show power and strength if you're able to. So honestly, if I had to rate them, I do enjoy the Architect class. However, it does hold you back if you like to attack, and it becomes somewhat irrelevant later down the line unless you're in a Doomsday event. The Raider class is the most beneficial in terms of gameplay and overall versatility. The Trader class is great for those who like to do events and focus on always having the ability to move forward. I personally am a Raider, and I feel that most people that have a higher level base should be Raiders. I would then place Architect and Trader as tied for second place. Architects only because of the no debuffs for anything. Farmers is something I wouldn't even suggest for players to use anymore, not unless it gets altered in some sort of fashion. I see no benefit to choosing Farmer at any point in your gameplay, and I would suggest people stay away from it at all costs. I would rather people opt to be a Trader or Architect instead if you're looking to start building up your base and you have not hit a high base level yet. And that's basically the classes in a nutshell. So I hope this explains some things. I know a lot of this information you already probably know or you can read, but I just want to reiterate that this is something that people should know and understand so that when we discuss the class manuals and the national quests, you understand why people would go different routes. So remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Tune in next time where we'll discuss the classes further by discussing the class manuals and the national quests. These are very important aspects to the class since they allow more ability to give yourself extra bonuses for you and your alliance. If you have any questions, comments, topics, or anything else, please leave those in the comments below. Guys, have a great day. Help each other out. Look out for each other. But most importantly, be safe out there.